Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Look at some of these headlines that I just pulled up, and there are many more like this, but just to kind of make a point, I want to read you some headlines having to do with XRP and price action. This first one's from the News Crypto. XRP price surges nearly 12% despite overall bearish market. Here's one from you today. XRP rebounds by 5% as day is finally here for Ripple SEC lawsuit. Here's from News BTC, a headline. XRP price rallied 7%. Is it gearing to test the next resistance? Here's one from FX Street. After a 15% rally, this is where XRP price will head next. So there's no shortage of people talking about this, and I've seen many within the community and, certainly crypto media outlets talking about this topic, but is the price of XRP going up because somebody knows something, quote unquote, knows something? And it's reasonable to ask why the price is doing what it's doing. That's fine. I don't mind that one. But there are some comments, I'm not going to highlight anything from anyone specifically, but there are some comments that, to me, came off as a little bit more fringe. Like there's some shadowy figures that are pulling the strings and making so-and-so happen. So does somebody actually know something that the rest of us don't know? I mean, not anything that would cause the price movement that we've seen. And actually, more recently, and I'll show you, like, the price of XRP has started dropping pretty dramatically within the last even few hours or so. So I've got that as well as a couple other topics. But before going any further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I'm not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. So as I record this, XRP is at 35 cents. And here's a 24-hour chart. You can see just hours ago, XRP, it was like a hair shy of 40 cents. So now to be at 35 cents and presumably continuing to drop, at least for the time being, after a tremendous rally to the upside, it's got people going, well, what's going on here? Well, I think a lot of people are overcomplicating this. In a video I put out 1 or 2 days ago, I think, I noted that XRP was being treated differently than the rest of the market. XRP was being treated the same as library credit and Dragon Chain. All three of those cryptocurrencies being sued into oblivion effectively by the SEC. And they were all treated the same. And so my best speculation on that is that there was an expectation that by the end of this past week, so Friday, a couple days ago, that by then there would have been a final judgment, a summary judgment on the SEC v. library case. And people are irrational, so it looked to me like people were purchasing library credit and coins that, like XRP, just similarly being sued by the SEC. They're purchasing it in anticipation of a final ruling, because if it's to the positive, it could potentially go ballistic. That would be the thought process, and not that anyone necessarily had insider information, but it's a risky position because if it doesn't go well, then in theory everybody would just dump the coins. Well, we ended up not getting anything of the sort. It looks like people are just treating those three coins the same, which is, again, like I said, silly and kind of irrational. But it doesn't mean that somebody knows something. Because what does it mean if somebody knows something? It would be a handful of people, and then they could engage in what? Insider trading? Is that what we're getting at when we say, does somebody know something? Oh my God, I saw that question multiple times on crypto Twitter within the XRP community saying, does somebody know something? Well, okay. Well, then the cat sure has been let out of the bag if that's the case, because you understand that the price of XRP, it's based on global movements, right? Global movements in terms of speculation, all that volatility driven by the typical retail speculator. So is it that a huge chunk of the retail speculator has secret information and it's not hitting headlines either? It's not even in crypto media? Or is it just that humans not knowing anything or being irrational and speculating? Doesn't that make a little bit more sense? I think that makes a lot more sense, actually. Because if it were just a handful of people and they know something and that caused the price, no, that wouldn't cause the price to go up. They'd be waiting then. They'd buy their massive quantities. It wouldn't move the market because it would just be a handful of people. That's insider trading. But no, when enough people do it to move the market on a global scale, which is what happened, that's very different. So no. Nothing fringe out there. The conspiracy stuff, it always turns me off. It's not. You got to just think through this stuff a little bit more. No offense to anybody out there. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just saying, no. I'll just leave it at that. Unfortunately, XRP moving to the downside, but with the irrational move to the upside, is it that surprising? But who knows? Look, and on the flip side, if we do get some really good news, I wouldn't be surprised if XRP does dramatically take off to the upside, even if it has to do with library. Because people would be thinking, okay, what does that mean potentially for the Ripple case. People have more confidence that things are going to go good for XRP then. Like, I get that. It's not like that stuff in particular is crazy, but humans do what they do, man. You know what I'm saying here? But this isn't the only way in which the SEC is bungling everything and like just ruining crypto adoption opportunities in the United States. Look at this headline from the Daily Hodl. The SEC's crypto stance throwing wrench in industry's lending markets. Report. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission is reportedly complicating matters for lenders in the crypto industry with some of its guidelines. According to a report from Reuters, multiple large lenders from banks such as U.S. Bancorp, Goldman Sachs, and J.P. Morgan Chase & Co. are having trouble getting into the digital asset space because of the SEC's policy on crypto lending. Earlier this year, the SEC announced a set of guidelines that instructed crypto firms to start treating their users' funds as their own liabilities on their balance sheets. In the SEC's bulletin from March 31st, it states the following. You'll see again, it's just the SEC doing nothing to actually help the space. They just don't give a damn. But here's the quote. As long as Entity A is responsible for safeguarding the crypto assets held for its platform users, including maintaining the cryptographic key information necessary to access the crypto assets, the staff believes that Entity A should present a liability on its balance sheet to reflect its obligation to safeguard the crypto assets held for its platform users, end quote. According to Reuters, strict capital rules require banks to hold cash against liabilities on their balance sheet. Reuters sources say that this policy has thrown a huge wrench into the industry and that lenders building out crypto offerings have had to cease moving forward with their plans pending any further action from the SEC and banking regulators. And look, let's pause. Nobody's going to be surprised. Like, the SEC has no interest at this particular juncture in time to make it easy for any entity on the planet to adopt in crypto and the blockchain industry in any notable capacity. Like, they don't care right now. And so the theory out there, as Attorney John Deaton, in fact, has stated no less a number of times, the speculation is, well, they're probably waiting to help their incumbent buddies get in first because they weren't the first movers. They're not ready to jump in as many other firms are. They're working on it, like BlackRock jumping in now. Perhaps SEC just waiting for the incumbents to finally get positioned and then provide the clarity. Reasonable speculation so far as I'm concerned, based on actual behavior. Look what they're doing and the timing of all this stuff. Anyway, piece continues. Nadine Shakar, head of State Street Digital, said, quote, "We do have an issue with the premise of doing that because these are not our assets. This should not be on our balance sheet," end quote. A spokesperson from U.S. Bancorp tells Reuters the bank would still be servicing already existing clients in its Bitcoin custody service, but would be pausing all intake of additional clients while the company evaluates the regulatory situation. So there you go. Thanks for nothing, Kim Jong-Gensler, you damn prick. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.